The crisp sound of a police siren pierces the bustling streets of Chicago. A man walking calmly in a hoodie suddenly finds himself surrounded, accused, and handcuffed. He protests, claiming to be an FBI agent, but his words fall on deaf ears. Is this another case of mistaken identity or something far more unsettling? When the truth is revealed, it leaves everyone in the room shocked, especially the officers who put him in cuffs. But what happens next is what truly changes the game, a lesson so powerful, it leaves everyone, from the police to the bystanders, questioning their own beliefs. If you're new here, welcome to Storytime with Rose, where we bring you motivational and inspiring stories that challenge perspectives and ignite change. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more impactful tales like this one. Hit the like button if this story grabs your attention, and share your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. And if you believe this message deserves to be heard, click share and spread it with your friends and family. Stay tuned, because what starts as an arrest transforms into an unforgettable lesson about justice, bias, and the strength of character. Let's dive in. It was a crisp autumn morning in downtown Chicago. The city buzzed with its usual symphony of honking cars, hurried footsteps, and distant chatter. Agent Marcus Reed, a seasoned FBI officer with 10 years of service under his belt, walked down the street wearing a plain hoodie and jeans. Marcus was on his way to a neighborhood cafe after wrapping up a late-night surveillance operation. He looked forward to a warm coffee and a quiet moment to review his notes. As he crossed the street, a squad car pulled up beside him. The siren blared briefly, startling Marcus. Two uniformed police officers stepped out. The taller officer, with a square jaw and cold blue eyes, immediately fixed his gaze on Marcus. "Hey, you, stop right there," the officer barked. Marcus, startled but composed, turned to face the officers. "Is there a problem, officer?" he asked calmly. "You match the description of someone we're looking for," the taller officer said, his hand hovering near his holstered weapon. Marcus frowned. "Description? What crime are you investigating?" The shorter officer, looking hesitant, avoided eye contact. The taller one, however, seemed resolute. "You're acting suspicious. Hands behind your back," he ordered. Marcus sighed, raising his hand slightly. "I'm an FBI agent. My badge is in my back pocket. Let me." "Enough!" the taller officer interrupted. Without giving Marcus a chance to explain further, the officer grabbed his arm and forcefully cuffed him. "Is this really necessary?" Marcus asked, his voice steady but firm. The taller officer sneered. "You're under arrest for loitering and resisting orders. We'll figure out the rest at the station." Marcus exchanged a glance with the shorter officer, who seemed conflicted but remained silent. As they escorted Marcus to the squad car, a small crowd began to gather. Whispers spread quickly. "What did he do? Looks like they're arresting another black guy for nothing." Inside the squad car, Marcus remained calm. He knew this wasn't about any crime. It was about prejudice, and he intended to handle it with the dignity he had learned from years of service. At the precinct, the taller officer searched Marcus's wallet and found the badge. His face turned pale as he read the credentials. Federal Bureau of Investigation, Special Agent Marcus Reed. "You're an FBI agent?" the officer stammered, his bravado evaporating. Marcus nodded. "That's what I tried to tell you." The shorter officer looked shocked. "Why didn't you say something earlier?" Marcus's gaze was piercing. "I did. You didn't listen." An awkward silence filled the room. The taller officer's face reddened with embarrassment. "Look, Marcus held up a hand. "Save it. I'm not here for apologies. I'm here to teach you a lesson. The officers exchanged nervous glances. "Let's take a walk," Marcus said. He led the two officers to a nearby community center. Inside, a group of teenagers, mostly Black and Hispanic, were seated in a circle, listening to a speaker. Marcus introduced himself and began to speak. "Everyone here knows what it feels like to be judged by the color of their skin," Marcus said, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "But today, I brought two guests who can learn just as much as they can teach." The teenagers looked curiously at the two officers. Marcus continued, addressing the taller officer directly. "You assumed I was a criminal because of how I looked, but let's flip the script. How would you feel if every teenager here assumed you were corrupt because of your badge?" The officer shifted uncomfortably. "I'd feel unfairly judged." "Exactly," Marcus said. "Bias blinds us. It makes us see what we expect instead of what's real. The only way to break that cycle is to challenge our assumptions every single day." The taller officer nodded, his bravado replaced by humility. I see your point. I need to do better." The shorter officer spoke up. "Me too. I've stayed silent when I should have spoken up. That ends today." The room erupted in applause. Marcus smiled, turning back to the teenagers. "Remember, your worth isn't determined by what others think of you. It's defined by how you respond to challenges just like this one." The officers stayed for the rest of the session, answering questions and hearing stories from the teenagers. By the end of the day, both left with a new perspective and a commitment to change. As Marcus walked out of the center, he felt a sense of accomplishment. The incident could have ended in anger and division. Instead, it became an opportunity for growth, understanding, and healing. For Marcus, it wasn't just about teaching a lesson, it was about showing that the badge, whether blue or gold, was meant to serve and protect everyone equally. As Marcus walked away from the community center, he couldn't help but feel a deep sense of fulfillment. What could have been a day filled with conflict had instead turned into a powerful moment of connection and growth. He had done more than teach a lesson, he had planted the seeds of change, not just in the officers, but in the young people who witnessed it. If you found this story meaningful, be sure to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Conversations like these need to be spread, so we can all learn to challenge our biases and grow together. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts. What do you think is the best way to break down prejudice and build understanding in our communities? And if you're new here, subscribe for more stories that inspire and challenge the way we see the world. Until next time, remember, your actions today can shape the future for tomorrow. Keep pushing forward, and let's continue to make a difference together.